All right, Luka Doncic has been kind of balling these last 5 games. You've been paying attention to the Lakers. He's had 29, 35, 31, 38, and 34 points for these last 5 games. So that sounds pretty solid. He's averaging 33.7 assists and 9 rebounds over these last 5 games. So those are solid numbers as far as points, rebounds, and assists go. He's 42% from the field, 29% from three, 85% from the free throw line. The 29% from three is horrible. The 42% from the field is also horrible. And Luka, it's just hard to watch Luka, to be honest. He played against the Spurs, the second to last game they played, and they lost to the Spurs in the NBA Cup game. And Luka drops 35 points in that game. But if you're watching the game, his 35 points just don't feel very impactful at all. There are certain players where their points feel really impactful. They're scoring a lot in the clutch and things like that. And then there's certain games where a player will score 35 points and it just doesn't feel impactful. Kind of the times in the game where you're getting the points. If you're not making, big shots, say the Spurs are going on a run and Luka hits a big old three to slow down the run and halt the run. Then the Spurs try to go on another run and Luka hits another three. Like those are bigger shots. If you're making shots down the stretch of the game, if you're making shots at the end of quarters, but with Luka, he'll usually come out, he'll score like 10 to 15 points in the first quarter, and it kind of makes his scoring numbers look good, and then, he just kind of foul baits for the rest of the game, to be totally honest. And Luka's just ugly to watch, just a really ugly style of basketball to watch, to be totally fair. I always make the point, I'm a Spurs fan. Manu Ginobili is one of my favorite players of all time. And Manu was a crazy flopper. He would flop his ass off. And when people would tell me that Manu's a flopper, I wouldn't deny the fact that he's a flopper. I'm watching the games. I see him flopping, and I would say, Manu's a flopper, and it just is what it is. But with like Ginobili and Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant, no one really called Kobe a flopper, but some of these other players that would draw a lot of fouls, it would more be in a situation where, let's say I'm driving down to the rim, I'm about to get a layup, and I notice, hey, this guy's kind of in the air. If I jump to the side a little bit, I can draw this foul and get myself an and one. It will be more, you're just playing the game, you're playing in your natural flow of the game, and then you go up and you see that you have an opportunity to draw the and one, and you kind of go out of your way a little bit to draw the foul. That's more, I guess, foul baiting, foul drawing. Where with Luka, I've never seen a player like this in my life where it's just every single play, all you're trying to do is draw fouls. You're not even trying to make hoops. If y'all watch Luka play, let me know if you agree with me, but he's trying harder to draw a foul than he is to even make an actual shot. Drawing the foul is his number one priority, then making the shot is the secondary thing he's trying to do, where it should be the other way around. You should be trying, in my opinion, you should be trying to make shots. And then, like I said, if you see you have an opportunity to draw a foul, then, by all means, jump a little sideways, swing your arm through over here and try to draw a foul. But with Luka, all he does, just every single play, all he's trying to do is draw fouls. And again, drawing fouls is his number one goal. And then once he gets the foul, then he'll try to take the shot. If the shot goes in, that's cool. But it's just ugly, man. It's just ugly to watch. Just the flopping and foul baiting is bad to watch. People talk about SGA all the time. By the way, I'm not saying SGA or Luka are bad players. I'd love to have either one of those players on my team. So just get that out of the way. I'm not saying they're bad players by any means. They're both amazing players, offensively, playmaking, both great players. But Luka, it's even worse than watching SGA because at least SGA will try to go up and make shots in the mid range. He'll try to get layups and things like that. Where with Luka, if he's in the mid range, if he's in the paint, all he's trying to do is draw a foul. He's not even trying to score. Someone made the point the other day. I totally agree with this point. If Luka's isolated one-on-one with somebody, the step back three is coming. That's all he's going to do. That's the only shot that Luka takes where he's not so much trying to draw a foul. He still is trying to draw a foul, but that's the only shot he takes where he just goes up and he's just trying to make a shot. Everything else is just foul baiting and trying to draw fouls. And then if Luka doesn't get the foul, even if he does get the foul, he's just crying and crying and crying to the refs all game long, over and over and over again. In the Spurs game alone, there were at least, not even kidding, if you watch the game, you probably agree with me, the Spurs scored at least 10 or more points just in transition because Luka is just crying and being the last one to get back, to get back into the play. And then when Luka fouls someone, just obviously fouls someone, he goes to the ref. What the heck, ref? I didn't foul. And if it was the other way around, Luka would definitely have wanted that foul. So that's crazy to me. He'll commit just obvious fouls, and then he's crying to the ref. That wasn't a foul. What did I do? Then on the other end, a play will happen where Luka doesn't even get fouled, and he's just crying and crying to the ref for, I swear he might cry for like 5-10 seconds straight. And before he even passes half court in the Spurs game, for example, the Spurs are already hitting the three, and Luka hasn't even gotten across half court over 5 or 6 times because he is just crying and crying to the ref. And again, I'd love to have Luka on my team. Luka's an excellent player. He's an awesome player, but if I was a Lakers fan, wouldn't be frustrated to have Luka, of course, but watching this game, I was thinking if Luka was on my team, I'd say just shut up and get back on defense, dude. If it is a foul, if it's not a foul, I don't care. Just get your ass back on defense. He comes in, he's on Men's Health magazine. He looks slim and sexy. He's looking good. Just a PR stunt. Luka's defense is not any better. He doesn't make an effort to move his feet. He isn't locked in defensively. You'll see him just not even in a defensive spot. He's just standing there with his legs locked. There was a play when it was him and Stephon Castle one-on-one on the fast break. And Luka's probably not going to stop Steph Castle, but he makes just no effort to even stop him. Stephon Castle goes right around him for a layup, and then Luka probably goes and cries to the officials even more. But as a Lakers fan, if you are one, let me know what you think. Again, I'd love to have Luka on my team. I'm not saying he's not a great player for the third time in the video, so please don't say, you don't think Luka's a great player, because I do. But let's say, for example, Luka's on offense, he gets fouled 5 times in a row. They're just obvious fouls. Just tell the ref, what the hell, ref, while you're running back on defense, if Luka was on my team, if you get fouled 5 times in a row and it's obvious, I'll probably be mad at my TV. I'll be yelling at my TV and saying the refs suck. But with that being said, let your coach argue for you. Just get your ass back on defense, because it's just so horrible. His play style is just so ugly to watch, just trying to foul bait. And I've never seen someone that does it as bad as Luka. If you see these past 5 games, 14, 14, 14, 5, and 14 free throw attempts. He's leading the league in free throw attempts. And I just don't get it, dude. I get more mad at the officials than the players. I get more mad at the league, because if you want to get the flopping and foul baiting out of the league, just stop making those calls and players will stop doing this. If you watch Luka, Alfred Şengün's another pretty notorious flopper. If you're a Rockets fan, Şengün's an awesome player. Again, I think he's good at basketball. I'd love to have him on my team, but he's a notorious flopper. And when Luka, Şengün, when they're playing Euroball, when they're playing, for their home countries in the offseason, if y'all get a chance to watch, they're not flopping, they're not foul baiting, because they know those fouls are not going to be called in EuroLeague, in that style of basketball, under those EuroLeague rules. So I wish the NBA could kind of adopt the EuroLeague, fashion of how they officiate their games. And, then Luka, some of these other floppers would just look stupid, because they just be flopping around out there, not getting the foul call, then crying to the officials. And that's the main thing, is the crying to the officials. It makes me so mad, because Luka, he won't get fouled, and he's just crying and crying for a foul call that wasn't even a foul. Then we'll go back on the other end. He'll hack the shit out of a player. The refs call the foul on Luka. Just, what the heck, ref? Like, I didn't foul. And it's just so hypocritical, and it's just so frustrating. Again, if I was a Lakers fan, I've already said it 3 times, I would love to have Luka. But I just be thinking, dude, stop crying and get your ass back on defense. This was some of the things that Dallas would say they were frustrated with. Again, I do not think Dallas should have traded Luka. That was a horrible and stupid decision and should have never happened. It was just a stupid-ass decision. All 30 teams in the NBA, it's just unforgivable. It's just an unforgivable move. But with that being said, Dallas trying to throw dirt on Luka's name after it happened. And one of the things they were saying was Luka having no effort on defense, and Luka, crying to officials, and just has a horrible attitude, man. Just no effort on defense. He comes back, like I said, again, he's on Men's Health. He's slim. just a PR stunt because he still does not shuffle his feet. He doesn't even make a mental effort on defense. People get backdoor cuts on him. He just doesn't pay attention. It's not like he's physically incapable of playing defense. He's 6'8". He can move his feet a little bit if he wants to. He can put some effort in, but just doesn't try on defense, fouls people, and just cries when the officials call fouls on him. Then he goes back on the other end. Say this is Luka's elbow, and someone gets this close to touching it, but they don't touch it. And then Luka flops his ass off, and oh, what the heck, ref? And he cries. He cries for 10 seconds straight, and by the time he's crossing half court, the other team has already hit a three, and it's just so frustrating, man. That's going to lose the Lakers playoff games if Luka's crying and not getting back on defense like this in the playoffs. It's just inexcusable, and his style of play is just so ugly to watch. You know, if you like watching Luka play and you'd like that foul baiting, flopping style of play, if you think that Luka doesn't flop and foul bait his ass off, you're just lying to yourself. Again, I'm a Spurs fan. I love Manu Ginobili, one of my favorite players of all time. Manu would flop and foul bait his ass off. And when Manu flopped and somebody would tell me, hey, Manu flopped on that play, I wouldn't say, no, he didn't, bro. You don't know ball. That's not a flop. You're just mad because, oh, tell your team to stop fouling Manu. Just play better defense. I wouldn't say all that. I would just say, yeah, Manu flopped his ass off on that play and, get over it. What are you going to do about it? But it makes me so mad when people say, oh, you just don't know ball, bro. That's not a foul, dude. Or that is a foul. Luka didn't flop on that play when no one even touches him and he fucking flicks his head back and just falls down like he got shot by a gun. His style of play is so ugly. His crying to the refs is so annoying. And man, my last point, when players are just notorious for flopping and foul baiting, they get rewarded by the refs for flopping and foul baiting. Instead of the refs, like all of us know, Luka's notorious for flopping and foul baiting. The referees all know that as well. So I wish they could watch the game and say, oh, this guy's notorious for exaggerating contact and flopping. And then when he does flop or exaggerate contact, just swallow the whistle. Don't give him the foul. That makes no sense to me. Again, all the officials know, the league knows, this guy's a flopper, this guy's a foul baiter, and they just keep giving him the flopping and foul baiting calls instead of keeping a closer eye on him and kind of watching him exaggerate contact. Because I feel like that's what refs should do. Like, this guy's a known flopper. We should watch out for him flopping and not reward him for the flopping and the foul baiting. But anyway, I'm done with my rant. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers before New Year's. Let me know what you think about Luka Doncic. Again, if you're a Lakers fan and you love Luka, I don't blame you. He's still a great player. I'm not saying he's not a great player by any means, but if you don't think he flops and foul baits, you're just lying to yourself. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.